Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, first off, thank you to Zach and his great team for all they have done to bring us together, as well as for having me back. You know, as I walked in today, a so-called friend of mine sitting amongst you reminded me of a pertinent Arabic saying, which roughly translates to, "He who talks a lot makes many mistakes." A great confidence booster before a speech, buddy. Thank you. So with that as inspiration, I'll try to keep this both short and mistake-free. When I spoke at this summit last year, we were on the brink of COP28. This year, we have the US presidential election upon us, amongst other geopolitical trepidations. As tempting as it might be to frame what I'm about to say in terms of the political landscape, I'll leave the politics to others. And that may well be the smartest thing I say today. But let's look at the even bigger picture. Today, we're navigating an era of unprecedented complexity, from climate change to armed conflict, economic instability, and deepening social inequalities, with each challenge adding a layer of complexity to others. Those who despair are certain that we are entering an age of perma-crisis. But our age is also an age of immense discovery and opportunity. New development models are emerging, revolutionary technologies are reshaping industries, and digital transformation is impacting pretty much every aspect of our lives. New demographic and geographic forces are reshaping the world as we know it. The rise of the global south is one of the most remarkable stories of the 21st century. Today, countries across Africa, Asia, and Latin America are emerging as powerhouses of economic growth and innovation. The global south, or also known as the global majority, now accounts for over 50% of global GDP and is home to 85% of the world's population under 25, representing a vast and dynamic pool of talent that is driving new models of economic and social progress. Alongside all these unstoppable shifts, we must also acknowledge that many of the tools we traditionally relied upon to both tackle these challenges and meet these opportunities are no longer fit for purpose. Multilateral institutions, once the cornerstone of global problem solving, often appear slow or too fragmented to adapt to this new reality. At the same time, traditional models of government-led development, international aid, and even diplomacy are struggling to cope with the sheer scale and speed of today's phenomena. And this is not just a consequence of inefficiency. It's evidence that the very architecture of global cooperation needs rethinking. Our challenge is to find ways to use the promise of our age to overcome the struggles of today and preempt the struggles of tomorrow. And that by demonstrating our collective ability to end one crisis, we can help to end others. And this is where the UAE is moving 5 steps ahead. Our nation's leadership has long believed that society moves fastest when it moves as one whole society, which is why our nation is embracing a new model for development, a model that moves beyond the conventional and that embraces cross-sector and cross-society partnerships. We're building our future by bringing business, government, and philanthropy into harmony. This collaborative, multi-stakeholder model is central to our national strategy and is shaping how we address our approach to regional and global challenges. And it's the deep engagement of business and philanthropy that will truly make the difference. Private sector, as we know, has always been the engine of innovation. Entrepreneurs and the companies that they create are at the cutting edge of technological advancement, of product development, and the delivery of solutions to reach the millions and billions. Governments can and must enable this innovation, offering conducive regulatory frameworks and providing the right environments for scalable progress. The philanthropic sector, the forgotten child of the capital system, is a hidden superpower, flowing in the trillions of dollars every year. It has the agility and resources to support innovation in areas that are often overlooked by public or private sectors, like climate action, healthcare, education, and poverty alleviation. And when it partners with business and is enabled by government, philanthropic funds become a catalytic force for sustainable development at scale. Indeed, globally, there's a vast sea of finance that we can set free through collective action. The world has more than $100 trillion in assets under management between sovereign wealth, pensions, insurance, and, of course, family offices. Worldwide, net private wealth stands at over $450 trillion and is set to increase more than 6% annually to the end of the decade. So when considered against the UN estimates of $4 trillion annually to achieve all the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, by 2030, capital pools aren't necessarily the issue. The issue is our ability to align it with the most pressing needs of our time. And that is where, of course, leadership and collaboration come into play. So the scale of the opportunity is huge if society can move as one. It's the UAE desire to have our society moving as one. My role as Special Envoy is about forging new alliances, mobilizing resources, and facilitating the kind of cross-sector partnerships that drive meaningful change. We've already witnessed the power of multi-stakeholder approach fairly recently. COP28, hosted just a few kilometers down the road from here, was a prime example. It really represented more than a series of important announcements and commitments. It represented a vision to create a paradigm shift in the way that we unite, act, and deliver. How we come together as different sectors across different geographies to leverage our unique strengths and generate action far greater than the sum of our parts. World leaders, ministers, businesses, philanthropies, civil society, youth, indigenous peoples, all demonstrating collective commitment to addressing climate change and nature loss. More than 1,300 business CEOs from over 80 countries, more than half of which came from across the global south, came together for the inaugural Business and Philanthropy Climate Forum. It was the first time ever that a dedicated engagement platform for the private sector was hosted at the start of a COP meeting. And we launched an extensive set of initiatives that saw more than $7 billion in new commitments to leverage private sector resources towards achieving net zero emissions and nature positive outcomes. Again, beyond the policies, it was the spirit of collaboration at COP28 that really stood out by bringing together governments, businesses, and civil society And it really demonstrated that collective action can drive real and scalable solutions to our most pressing challenges. What does all this mean for you, for us? It means that maximizing our progress is dependent on maximizing your ability to collaborate. And not just the scale of your collaboration, but it's your reach as well, to take you far beyond the boundaries surrounding you today. Whether you are focusing on AI, energy, food, or pharma, manufacturing, materials, mining, the UAE's message is clear. It's by working together that we can unlock new markets, enable innovation that benefit the most vulnerable, and create a future that's more inclusive, resilient, and prosperous. This new model does demand a fresh mindset, a mindset that embraces risk, a mindset that dares to break from the conventional, and then a mindset that really engages the future of progress in a new paradigm of international relations and development. At its core, it's a model that represents hope. The hope that by working together, we can get past polycrisis and emerge into a new era of shared prosperity. That's something worth working for. So let's work together. Thank you.